Hi. Uh, Summer's been a little rough, to say the least. Um, and if I'm going to be frank with you, it's been a bit overwhelming. Um, I had originally planned to make one of those, like, algorithm pleasing videos about goal setting techniques that I learned when I worked at Apple, and it felt like bullshit, right? So, I'll probably still finish that video or whatever, but I wanted to take some time and be more honest about just the stuff I've been dealing with for the past 2 or 3 months. Um, so this is kind of like, where'd my summer go? That's I think we all have experienced that at some point in our lives, right? You can. I'm assuming you can relate. Just you turn around 1 minute, it's like, didn't summer just start? Like, wouldn't it just May? Why is it all of a sudden almost September? Because it's almost September. Like, oh man. Anyway, uh, so one of my big things was just a feeling of general burnout. Like, it's hard to explain because it's not like it wasn't like grinding away at a job. It was just like life. And that sounds really weird and kind of harsh, I think, or at least I think it can come off that way. What I'm talking about is that, like, so instead of just prior to this summer, I was just taking care of the twins. We were doing stuff. We had very loose plans pretty much every day, and it was teach them little things, do stuff with them, entertain them, have fun. But this summer, I got to have 3 kids. So my eldest daughter was home the majority of the summer because we didn't do a lot of things. Did not book up our summer with stuff, mostly because we were doing lots of travel. Had planned lots of traveling, and some of that went awry, and some of that went exactly as expected. But it's what it is. So, as you can imagine, twins are a handful on their own. So add a gifted 7-year-old to that mix, and yeah, let's just say we just spent the whole summer running all over the place, just non-stop running around doing stuff. And then on top of all of that, it was trying to make sure my eldest kid read every day or attempted to read every day, which I failed horribly at. So that she didn't, lose language skills over the summer. And she hates reading because it's hard. It's not something that she can do really easily, like puzzles and math and stuff. So it's a whole thing to get her to even attempt to sit down and read. And I was trying and failing to get the kid do crafts with the kids every day. Get them doing artistic stuff every day. Tried to take them to play at the beach once a week because we live at the beach and we basically haven't been there for 2 years. So yeah, I tried to get them out to the beach to play, which that went okay. Sometimes they just wanted to play in the sand. Sometimes they wanted to play in the water. It's neither here nor there. And then I wanted to get them out to parks. There's a bunch of parks around here. There's a lot of parks in this county, and some of them have playgrounds, and they're kids. Every kid loves playgrounds. So we tried to find new playgrounds to play on, go on little hikes through whatever trails we could find. That one didn't exactly happen every week because of reasons. But it's like everything did. That's the whole point, is that, like, I had all of these things we were trying to do, and like stuff just kept falling through the cracks, right? Because not only am I trying to do this extra stuff with my kids for the summer so that they're not bored and miserable all summer, but I'm still trying to do like all the household basics. So keep up with laundry, grocery shopping, menu, making the menu for the week, cooking the meals, like all of that, everything, and just stuff kept slipping every day. And I was running out of spoons every day, basically for the entire summer. And it was exhausting. And by the end, I basically kind of borderline hated it. That's one of the first things that I know contributed to me being overwhelmed, trying to stay on top of stuff. And like, that's just the stuff I was staying on top of. So another thing that fell through was me and my physical health and working out and staying on top of things, because yeah, totally fell off the bike. Starting in about November is when I really fell off pretty hard, when we did some traveling in November and December, and then just I never got back into the groove of it, and I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure that doesn't happen again. Because if I don't work out and I don't actively do stuff, and I put on weight, and I've already put back on like 20 pounds ish, 25 pounds of what I lost last year. So that sucks. That's the bad part. Like, that's where one of the things that I realized that I know I have a chance, like, I feel overweight. Like, my body feels overweight. And I hate that feeling. So, and it needs to change. We need to do something. I'm back over 200 pounds. I got down to around 175-ish, I think, last year at one point. So I'm back up around 200. That's 90 kilos-ish if you live in the rest of the world, or 14 stone if you're one of those weirdos. Yeah, regardless, it's demotivating to have that like yo-yo setback. So that's a thing. And then the last one was I spent the whole summer like sort of Damocles style, just waiting for the other shoe to drop, because we've been in this position for, I don't know, since 2019, waiting for the kids to be able to do stuff so that I can actually start working on businesses and projects for myself, because I've been doing a really bad job trying to get things done on my own terms, on my own time, around everything else. Like, it has to do with a lot of my depression and anxiety issues. Like, I don't have the spoons. It's always a trade-off, right? So it's always either I get my work done and I focus on my work, and everything with my family slips, which isn't fair to them, or I do the best I can with my family and the stuff that I want to do slips. So I've been prioritizing them for a while, and now we're finally getting to a point where I can start putting more focus on me and putting more focus on the things I'm trying to work on. So yeah, 2019, we're starting the 2020 school year. We were planning to have the twins start doing daycare so that I would have free time just to work on my stuff. But end of 2019, we end up moving from Georgia to Florida. So that didn't happen, because, as we all know, a couple of months into 2020, everything exploded and shut down. So we did the entire kindergarten year of my oldest kid from home online. That was obnoxious and exhausting. And then we were planning to, the twins will start at preschool when our oldest daughter starts in first grade, because we couldn't keep her home for another year because it was just brutal on her and she was miserable. But we wanted the twins to start preschool, but then the Delta variant happened and they still weren't vaccinated because they still aren't fully vaccinated because it's taken forever for them to get to the actual young kids who can theoretically have the longest side effects if they have what is being called long COVID or whatever, and whatever permanent physiological damage is done by this stupid virus. Like, they're the ones that have to live with it the longest, and they're the ones that can do the least to protect themselves. So it's been really frustrating for a lot of this stuff. That caused me to basically take one for the team, so to speak, and the family, and it's like, all right, we'll keep the twins home until they are able to be vaccinated. It's just what we have to do. That's the approach that we need to take. That hasn't been able to happen until very recently. They're actually due round 3 of their COVID vaccine in a couple of weeks, in mid-September. So by the beginning of August, they should be, like, it'll be that the 2 weeks will have passed, they'll be fully vaccinated, and like all of that concern is just kind of gone for the most part. And then it's basically getting boosters, that's the word I'm looking for, boosters whenever they're needed. So that's what I've been stuck with, and that's what's been like really, really weighing on me. And so I'm at this point where I know something needs to change, and nothing is going to change unless I take those contributing things and short circuit one of them. The waiting for the impending doom one, the third one I talked about, like, that's the one I have basically the least control over. That's just time. When the kids get vaccinated, I won't be worried about the impending doom part anymore, unless fucking monkeypox decides it wants to continue to spread. Because DeSantis isn't going to do shit about it. Let's be honest. If you live in Florida, you're screwed if monkeypox becomes a thing. Anyway, yeah, so I can't really do anything about that. But I can make sure my kids get what they need to get and are as healthy as they can be, and do what they can to protect the other people around them. The one that I can do the most work on and do the best at, I think, is the physical fitness, physical health. And if the idea between a lot of this stuff is, if you disrupt them enough to get them off of balance, and stop stagnating and start pushing forward to get momentum. And that's kind of what I'm working on. For working out, so for the physical health stuff, there's basically 2 things that I can really start doing. I'm starting to log my food again. I'm using MyFitnessPal just because me and some friends were already using it last year. So I started logging stuff every day, started logging all my calories and whatnot, and just keeping track of that and keeping an eye on it, making sure I don't overdo it. Because that's the eternal problem, right? Calories in, calories out. Then the other thing that I can do is find time to regularly work out, right? So it's just basics. So working out probably every day during the week, swimming on the weekends with the kids because they love being in the pool, so it's whatever. And just find a regular workout routine that's easy. I have cardio's pretty much on lock if I start going for it. So yeah. That first one, the feeling burned out and overwhelmed, basically what I've started doing is kind of like make a list every morning of the things that are still out there to do, tasks that are still on the horizon, and I pick like 2 or 3 that are what I call a no bullshit list. So it's like, no bullshit, these 3 things have to get done today. And sometimes they're little things. Sometimes it's just like, we're trying to get our house painted. Call a painter and schedule a time for them to come out and give us an estimate. Like, that's something I had to work on this morning. Yeah. So once you get the no BS list done, you just kind of take your remaining spoons and get as much as you can get done. And that's it. So right now it's working on the backlog of home stuff that has fallen through the cracks, which I think I've done a decent job at over the last 2 weeks since school started up. And then working on getting myself healthier. Just start with eating healthier, start with eating less, start with burning more calories, and that's the best you can do, right? For me, it's just that knowing that nothing is going to change unless I decide I'm going to change it. That's the only thing that's going to make a difference is me. So that's what's going on. That's where we are. Right? Time to go. So I want to thank you for stopping by. It's good to have a chance to talk with you again. If you want to keep this conversation going, please feel free to subscribe. And if you want to help me out by adopting YouTube Goblins, you can do that by hitting that like button. And as always, feel free to drop me a line either down in the comments or over on Twitter or whatever. Just let me know if there's stuff that's like had you feeling really overwhelmed lately. We can talk about it. So anyway, look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, take care. Because I've been doing a really bad job. Trying to. The twins will start at preschool when our oldest daughter starts in first grade because we can't keep her home again because it was just brutal. So